Spain is the hottest team in football right now. They won the most recent Euros in 2024 and they did it convincingly. Spain is also the team in international football with perhaps the clearest identity, the tiki taka. Short passes, keep the ball on the ground, possession style of play. They've also been handed an easy route in comparison to the other favorites. So the question is, who can stop them? Well, Spain, as good as they are, have only won one World Cup. Why is that, and is that about to change? Let's talk about it, but first, let's set the scene. Spain is a country of around 50 million people, and certainly gives life and contrast to the European continent, with their late dinners, siestas, and a mix of Mediterranean, European, and Latin culture. For a long time, Spain was known for their bullfighting, but more and more over time, football and tennis have become leading sports in Spain. Since 1978, Spain has qualified for every Euro and every World Cup. They've won the Euros 4 times and have made 4 of the last 5 finals, and they are the nation that have won the most Euros titles. However, the World Cup has always been more of a challenge for Spain. They had a glorious win in 2010, beating Netherlands in the final 1-0, but if you ask me, they won that tournament in large part due to the Jabulani's nature, with it being too unpredictable in the air, and that suited Spain perfectly with their on-the-ground tiki-taka style. With several nations having won many more World Cups than Spain, I think Spain are itching at a World Cup to have something to show for their amazing form and squad right now. Have they really been that bad in comparison at the World Cup? Well, let's take a quick look. In 2014, in Brazil, Spain fell to the World Cup winner's curse, crashing out in the group stage, getting crushed by Netherlands, sweet revenge for them, and losing to an informed Chile. It was a true shock to the world after they just won the last World Cup, as well as back-to-back Euros in 2008 and 2012. In the 2018 World Cup, Spain was in an electric group with Portugal, where they played an iconic 3-3 game with Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick. Spain ended up topping the group on goal difference, but were shocked again by hosts Russia, who eliminated them in the round of 16. The generation that won all the trophies was retiring, and Spain was not improving their World Cup form. What could they do in 2022? In the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, the most recent one, Spain was placed in the group of death with Germany and Japan. This was an absolutely crazy group of surprises and the outcomes of the group flipping in the last match day constantly. Those who know, but Spain made it out in second despite losing to Japan. In the round of 16, Spain met a Morocco team that had energy and magic, and this proved too much for Spain, and they were eliminated in the round of 16 in the World Cup for the second World Cup in a row. No one argued Spain had been particularly bad at these World Cups, especially since they had some tough groups. But it is so unlike current-day Spain to lose to teams tiers under them in power, like Russia, Chile, and Japan. So what is it about the World Cup that Spain struggles with? I actually think that Spain's biggest strength has also quietly become their biggest weakness. Because unlike many international teams, Spain always plays nearly the same way: possession, short passing, patience, and total control. And when it works, it's beautiful, but at the World Cup, teams often approach Spain very differently than they do at the Euros. At the Euros, Spain usually faces other European nations that are willing to play football. The games are more tactical, more controlled, more familiar. But at the World Cup, Spain suddenly runs into chaos. Aggressive pressing from South America, explosive transitions from Asia, physical African sides, and emotional underdogs defending for their lives. And over the years, Spain has sometimes struggled when games stop being controlled. Against Russia in 2018, they dominated the ball but looked predictable. Against Morocco in 2022, they had possession but not enough penetration. And against Japan, they lost control emotionally and defensively the moment the game became transitional. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Spain really won the Euros in 2024 convincingly, and that likely shows that they have learned from some of their mistakes in the last World Cup, and will be the favorite against any European side. But what about the non-European sides? That's where it's going to get really exciting. And with that being said, what awaits Spain in the 2026 World Cup? Spain have been drawn into Group H and are joined by Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde. Uruguay are a tough South American side which you can never brush off, exactly the kind of side Spain could struggle against early in the tournament. And Valverde can always show up, especially with how familiar he is with Spanish players. However, they're not in the best form and have plenty of internal problems right now. Saudi Arabia seems to be a mess right now, with almost no signs that they can recreate what they did in 2022, and Cape Verde is a World Cup debutant with nothing to prove, and can be dangerous. Spain will be a clear favorite in this group. A loss to Saudi Arabia seems impossible, and it's difficult to imagine that Cape Verde can upset or draw to Spain. It should be 6 points with fantastic goal difference. So I expect, as probably everyone else does, that Spain will ease through this fairly easy group and get first place. The first place from Group H will be placed into this quadrant of the bracket and will meet the runner-up for Group J. Argentina is just as likely to win that group as Spain is its own, so it seems like the most likely opponent in the round of 32 for Spain should be Austria or possibly Algeria. Austria, while not a bad side at all, is a team that fits Spain perfectly, a familiar European side to start the knockout stage, and Spain haven't lost to Austria since 1990, but they also haven't met since 2009. Assuming they win, they will likely run into either Croatia or Colombia next. I don't know who I would choose if I were Spain, a familiar European side that is like Superman when it comes to the World Cup, or Colombia, a real dark horse candidate that can be foreign to Spain. Spain have won all their games recently against Croatia, but they lost a friendly recently to Colombia. This will be a tough game regardless and could mean yet another exit for Spain in the round of 16. This will be the most important moment for Spain in the World Cup, leading to the final if you ask me. In the quarterfinal, Spain can play against either Turkey or Belgium most likely, and Spain do outclass both of these sides. Turkey recently played home and away against Spain, and on their day, Turkey can beat anyone, but also at home, Spain defeated Turkey 6-0, so that can't be ignored. Belgium and Spain are alike in many ways, but Spain is just better equipped in every position, especially defensively. In this semifinal, Spain would meet most likely France, Netherlands, or less likely Brazil or Germany. This will likely be the European final of this World Cup. Spain versus France is a game that could really be wild, and I think it would favor the more succinct and organized Spain, but you never know. And then, what I feel is the predicted final for many, Spain and Argentina. Who knows how that would go, but let me know what you think. So my takeaway here is that this easy group and route leans well into Spain. I'd say it's going to be either a round of 16 elimination again or a final. Just a gut feeling, as the winner of Croatia and Colombia will be deadly. And when I said Spain was in good form, I really wasn't kidding. Since the last World Cup, Spain has lost 3 times, an away loss to Scotland, that Colombia friendly, and the Nations League final loss to Portugal. That's 3 losses in 39 games. And they went undefeated in qualifying, having plus 12 in goal difference in 6 games. So what does this informed Spain team look like, and how do they line up? Spain tend to line up in a 4-3-3 recently, but that was in absence of some key players like Rodri. In the most recent friendlies, they've been trying 4-2-3-1, reincorporating Rodri and Pedri as anchors, while adding more attacking options alongside Yamal, using Oyarzabal as the striker. Defensively, they're the strongest they've been in years, with loads of center back options and Cucurella on the left wing back spot aiding the attack. On the other side, Llorente is supporting Yamal and the midfield so that Yamal can go crazy. In goal, despite Raya being phenomenal for Arsenal, they go for veteran Unai Simon. And you already know how they play: short passing, tiki-taka, control, and find finishes rather than try them. They also tend to play a high defensive line, which punished them last World Cup, but they are much better equipped this year to play that way. So looking at the squad, there's depth, creativity, anchors, explosiveness, and individuality. If you are gonna nitpick, I think Oyarzabal is not a traditional striker, but he's still a hell of a player. And in goal, I'm still a little skeptical of Simon. And lastly, it's not the most physical squad. They'll definitely lose duels and get pushed around. But Spain have a squad built to win a World Cup, and if they can figure out how to loosen up a little bit and be less predictable, they could manage better against these strong non-European nations. Spain is an influential giant, from spreading their language all over the world to their amazing ham, and of course, as Northern Europeans' favorite place to get some sun. Spain is also home to one of the biggest football rivalries in the world, El Clásico, between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and fittingly, this national team feels like a combination of the best qualities from both sides. Control, flair, creativity, but now also speed, aggression, and directness. But now I want to hear from you. Will Spain win the World Cup in 2026 after a 16-year wait? Let me know.